Before I begin this video, let me just, again, hats off to the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys played a tremendous game. You guys were tough. You guys were resilient. Jalen Hurts did his thing in the second half. Their offensive coordinator, I think that was Johnson, Coach Johnson, did a tremendous job of making adjustments. They found wrinkles and they definitely exploited a lot of our zone defense in the second half. We made barely any adjustments at all. We couldn't really stop it. They started to run the football outside the perimeter a little bit more often. Their offensive line gained confidence. And then their defense made adjustments. Their defense made key plays, got a pick that resulted in a touchdown. Hats off to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. They're 10-1 for a reason. They continue to win games. They continue not to quit. And they're just a resilient football team, so hats off to them. But now kind of get into the Buffalo Bills, guys. Guys, I was going into this video just ready to yell and ready to just go off. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of ranting. I'm tired of going off. I told myself I wasn't going to watch another Bills game, then I ended up watching the Bills again. I mean, it is what it is. It's my Bills spirit. I've been watching them literally since I was born. So it is what it is. You can't take it out of me. What is it going to take for you people to understand that Sean McDermott has to go? And it's not all you guys, but some of you guys that are in this comment section that continue to just defend McDermott because he can coach defense. What is it going to take? What is it going to take to convince you guys that he is not the guy that's going to lead this team to a championship? Sean McDermott is one of the worst game managers in football. Regardless if it's the NFL, college, high school, or Pee-wee. He is one of the worst game managers I've ever fucking seen. I knew as soon as we scored that touchdown, Philadelphia was going to go ahead and score. I knew it. Because McDermott, he's too conservative. Too fucking conservative. We will give the Eagles 7 to 8 yards of cushion almost every single fucking high while pushing our safeties, 2 high safeties, all the way back like we're playing fucking prevent. Quarterbacks pushing all the way off. Like we continue to play conservative football. Conservative football. What is it going to take for you guys to join me and join the rest of the bandwagon to say fire McDermott? What is it going to take? He's not the guy that's going to lead this team to a championship. And it doesn't matter. We can make the playoffs. Do I think that in big time games and big time moments, when has he ever won us a game in big time moments and big time situations because of coaching? When has his game management won us important, crucial games? Because I can't remember the last time. Like, it's embarrassing every single time, guys. And guys, we're 0-3 in overtime. Every time we go to overtime, we always lose. Do you think that's a coincidence? We always lose in overtime because McDermott and his conservative fucking nature continues to cost us. Why in the absolute fuck why would you kneel it? Why would you even use a timeout? You had at least 2 timeouts, which, by the way, we really should have had 3 timeouts because he decided to try to ice the kicker, which again, that continues to prove the math that just doesn't really work that well, and it's really considered a myth. But whatever, we want to continue to ice the fucking kicker. We could have had 3 timeouts with 20 seconds left to get into field goal range, to at least give Tyler Bass, who can kick 60-yard field goals, give him an opportunity to right his wrong and get him in field goal range. But no, you decided to kneel the ball and play it conservative and go to overtime and once again rely on your defense. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, we should have won the game anyway because Gabe Davis was wide open and Josh Allen missed him. By the way, it was an option route. Gabe Davis ran the wrong route. He ran the wrong route, and we should have won the game there. But it's the fact that McDermott, with his conservative nature, with 2 minutes, it continues to cost us. The first half. It's like, he's one of the worst coaches I've ever seen when it comes to just terrible timeout usage. Clock management, game management, timeout usage. He's one of the worst coaches. I know he can coach defense. I'm not going to disrespect his defensive prowess, which, by the way, guys, this fantastic defense gave up This fantastic defense, by the way, guys, gave up 30 points in the second half, including overtime. This fantastic defense gave up 30 points in the second half. So, but I won't disrespect McDermott of saying he doesn't know how to coach on the defensive side of the ball, even though they lost us the game tonight. We can't blame it on Joe Brady. I mean, what are we gonna do? Are you gonna blame it on Joe Brady? Is the Joe Brady honeymoon over? Is the Joe Brady honeymoon phase over? Are we gonna really blame it all on Josh Allen? We dominated this game statistically. 500 yards of we had over 500 yards of offense on this team, and we still couldn't find a way to win. And I know people will blame the referees. People are saying, "Well, we lost because of the referees." Listen, this is football. You're gonna have games where the calls are against you, and you're gonna have games where the calls are gonna go towards you. This is football. This shit like this happens. But I am not going to blame the referees for why we lost. Because guess why? Because James Cook dropped the wide open touchdown pass on a wheel route. Tyler Bass had a field goal blocked, and then Tyler Bass missed the field goal. So right there, that was 13 points. 13 points that were dropped, that were left off the board, including Josh Allen missing Gabe Davis, which again, that's not really on Josh Allen. That's on Gabe Davis because that's an option route and Davis ran the wrong route. So that's another touchdown that was dropped. But this one is on Allen. If Allen could have flipped the ball to Davis instead of just zinging it off of Eli Rick's backs, that's at least setting us up inside of the goal line. I'm not saying that's the touchdown, but that's setting us up in the goal line. That's a rush throw, and that is on Josh Allen. So we had plenty of points left on the board, plenty of opportunities. Hell, the first drive of the game, we had to punt. We had to punt because of two consecutive false start calls. It was either a false start or a holding call on us. So that's 3 points that were off that were off in our second drive. Like, this team continues to shoot themselves in the foot, guys. But at some point, when are we going to start blaming McDermott? When are we actually going to be taking a look at the head man and say, this is the guy that is the root of the problem? He's the root of the problem. I'm not Hyde and Poyer. I've already said, I mean, you're stuck with them. You can't cut them. You're stuck with them because of the debt cap situation. I've been saying that we should have been looking to trade these guys a while ago because they're getting older. They're not as quick as they used to. They're not as athletic as they used to. And even when back in their primes, we had issues. That touchdown pass, we had issues like that before. But at some point, guys, Josh Allen, last 2 games, has played phenomenal. He's played phenomenally well. He almost had 100 yards rushing and almost 400 yards passing. He played phenomenal. And yes, he threw a pick, which led us into a touchdown drive. But where were the defensive adjustments? 30 fucking points in the second half, including overtime. Where was the defensive adjustments? Because there were barely any defensive adjustments in the second half. It's just, this team just continues to shoot themselves in the foot, man. And at some point, you're going to have to look at the head coach. At some point, you Bills fans that disagree with me, you're going to have to look at the head coach. And I know you're going to use the referees as a scapegoat, but remember, we had at least 13 to 16 points that the referees had nothing to do with. We killed ourselves. Including the touchdown to Gabe Davis. That Davis ran the wrong route on. So, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. We're 6-6. I guess playoffs are technically over, but the more and more we lose these type of games, I mean, I think that for the most part, the more and more hurt that as Bills fans we are. And at some point, we got to start having this conversation. We got to start having this conversation, guys. McDermott is not the guy that's going to get us to a championship. He can coach defense. Guess who else can coach defense? Robert fucking Saleh can coach defense just as well as McDermott can. But you look at the Ken Dorsey decision. You look at the fact how it took him weeks of us being mediocre on offense to finally let him go and finally assigning Joe Brady, who, by the way, he has outcoached the shit out of Ken Dorsey in 2 games than what Ken Dorsey has done the entire year. But yet, somehow, in some way, McDermott thought all season long that Ken Dorsey was the right answer and did not decide to pull the trigger. And then his game management. His game management. He's a horrible, horrible fucking game manager. And the more we stick with this guy, man, the more heartache is about to come. So it is what it is, guys. I don't even know what to say anymore, guys. It is what it is, and I don't know. I don't know, man. Congrats to the Eagles, Bills fans. It's time for us to start having this conversation.